Hello, gorgeous. Welcome to another episode of Lovegodesss podcast recording. And last week, I started talking in my blogging, Instagram blogging, on different sides to Love Goddess, like the core principles, the core non-negotiables to a Love Goddess. Who is she? What qualities she possesses? And so I want to actually talk on this and start a conversation about those qualities that Love Goddess possesses. So we focused on the core four. The core four were spirituality, prosperity, lifestyle, and femininity. So today podcast is on spirituality. Why is it important for a love goddess to be spiritual, and how does it even connect with sexuality and everything that love goddess is about? Let me share with you the core principle that we teach. And there are many other coaches, there are many other experts who are teaching the art of being sexy and the seduction and being a femme fatale and through manipulation. That is what we don't do. We don't do anything that goes against higher principles, right? We don't teach you anything that goes against you or your higher nature, right? In order for that to be fully aligned with your higher self, we are tapping into our spirituality. And what spirituality is, it's not some kind of woo-woo. It's not, just like God and praying. Like, these are all the tools of how to access that element to you. What spirituality is your inner connection to the energy source within you. You are energy. You have the invisible part to yourself. Yes, there is a physical body, right? But what happens when body dies? What happens to you? You move on. You continue living in another realm, right? And that part of you is everything that you have minus the body, right? So your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, all of that, the invisible part to you that consists of your feelings and emotions, is what is left, right? And that is your energetic core, that is your energetic essence, and that is everything invisible about you is what is left when the body goes, right? And so when you are in the body being tapped into, and you, my love, coming from infinite intelligence, call it God, call it universe, call it the source. It doesn't matter what you decide, like Buddha, Allah, like I don't care what you call it. I don't care if you're using religious terms, because I know a lot of us are talking about the same thing, and I only believe there's only one, and we just talking about this in a different way. So it doesn't matter what you call it. There is an invisible world and side to us that is leading us towards our higher good, towards our best outcomes, towards our best lives, whether it looks like on an outside or not. Material world is should I say tricky. Sometimes things seem to fall apart and we are like crushed under the circumstances, but what we don't understand or see is the big picture. Like, there is a reason why it all fell apart, because it was for a higher good. Like, when I lost my son, under no circumstances I would have said, hey, thank you, like, universe, for like giving me this horrible experience, right? Thank you for taking my child away from me. However, I knew there was a bigger reason because I already was very intuitive at that time. I just actually dived deeper into energy and spirituality and what's out there when life ends, like what happens. And I read a lot of books on afterlife, before life, all of that, and stories, where kids come from, all those things. It's just it's still very fascinating to me. However, I knew that served bigger purpose. I didn't know what the purpose is. Now, 10 years later, I know the purpose was to get me on a path of photography, which I was originally, I've been asking for a change in my life. I didn't know that at that time I would be a photographer, and because I did not have photos of my child, has put me on a path of a photographer for my child first, and then my journey unfolded. So now 10 years later, I see the reason, I see the big picture, and I know, hey, this has happened because I need, like, for my highest good. Now I am successful. Now I have the money that I used to struggle. Now, like, this has happened for the highest good. And you can't see you can't see what's at the top of the mountain when you are at the bottom of the mountain, right? You can only see new landscapes opening up to you when you climb higher and higher and higher and higher, right? And so your spirituality is your inner guidance system. There is this invisible part to yourself that is an invisible world that is split, right? You have part of you within your body, and you have another part that is your higher self that is guiding you towards your lessons that you are meant to learn in this lifetime. However, there's no such thing as destiny. You have free will. This is like the biggest gift that the source gave you as a human being, is your free will. You can decide to follow your path, or you can decide to not follow your path and that will spin you into a completely different lesson that you are learning in this lifetime. But when you are tapping into your spiritual practice every morning, you start realizing how you feel. You start shutting down all the noise from the outside world. You start really focusing on your inner feelings versus on your thoughts and ideas that may not be even yours. They may be society ideas that you believe, oh, I need to live life this way, or I need to behave this way because somebody else told you so, and you believed them, or you chose to believe them, whether consciously or on accident, right? And so when you are actually spending time with yourself, shutting down the thoughts, the logic, you start tapping into your feelings, and you start really truly understand, I am okay with this, but this principle that I was living all of my life, I am so not aligned with, and that's why I'm bothered. That's why I have all these anxieties. That's why, right? So when you start shutting down the logic, what's left is your true essence, your true soul, your true feelings that you're tapping into. And through your feelings, you're connected to your higher self that sees your bigger picture of why you're here on earth, and also literally creates, unfolds, puts people and circumstances and situations on your path for your path to unfold depending on your desires that you are creating when you are so deeply tapped into your spirituality, your energetic self, into who you are, right? And so that is why the main principle of a love goddess is be spiritually tapped into her authenticity. This is also when you know what's authentic and what's yours, and what's noise, or what's not yours, or what's maybe your mom's ideas, or your dad's ideas, or your society ideas, or someone who, like, your lover's ideas. Like, these are not your ideas, right? Maybe you don't want to live in busy New York City and you want the country life, right? But your mom's been telling you gotta get a job, do this lawyer thing, and yada yada yada, and you are now stuck living a life that you absolutely despise. And when you start tapping into your spirituality, you understand that these were not your belief systems. These were belief systems of a 7-year-old girl back like long time ago, and they must go in order for you to live authentic life that is fulfilling to you. You must let those fake, inauthentic ideas, beliefs, and limiting beliefs go. Right? And so that is what spirituality is. You tapping spirit into your inner guidance. I'm not telling you go pray to God every day. I'm telling you to go, you are the God. Did you know that you are the God? You have part of that. You don't need another medium or a priest or church or anything to be in the middle, because you have direct access to the source. You have direct access to God because you are part of God. You do not need another someone to tell you what to do, because that is how a lot of people get off track. They believe that they are not worthy, or they don't have that connection, direct connection with the source. And so I'm telling you, you have that connection with the source because it comes from your inner guidance system. It comes from feeling good or bad. And it comes from, oh, I should do this. Meh, doesn't feel good. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. But if you didn't have that inner quiet moment with yourself, you would not heard that message from your soul, right? Hearing message and acting on those messages is what Lovegodesss does. She is coming from only fully authentic self. She is coming from a place of being tapped into her inner guidance. And so only from that place you are able to live authentic, fulfilling life as a sexual, seductive woman that is high value and follows high principles for herself and her life and lives of others, right? And only from that principle, only from when you are filled up on the inside authentically, when you are living a fulfilling life, you then are able to tap into your power, right? Which is your sexual power. It's not enough to, I call it fake or empty sexuality, when you go put short skirt on, thigh highs, high heels, put red lipstick on, do the makeup and the hair, and then you go out in the world, but you are so empty on the inside, or you acting on a completely fake set of principles on life, and people see right through you and they see the fakeness that you are and the emptiness that you are. If you feel like guys are only using you for sex, most likely you are not valuing yourself enough, and self-value comes from being tapped into your inner self spiritually and be fully fulfilled on that level first, right? Only from being filled up spiritually, you then can put the things on the outside and dress how you want to dress and act how you want to act, because it's going to come from a place of power, confidence, knowing and owning yourself, versus doing what other people tell you to do, coming from an empty place and being unfulfilled, right? Does that make sense, everyone? So only from being tapped into your spirituality, you are truly able to achieve your true sexuality, your sexual power, and act on your set of principles that are true for you because they're your life values. Does that make sense? So with that being said, it is super important for a Lovegodesss to be spiritually tapped in, have a spiritual workout each and every morning that I, by the way, teach in Lovegodesss Academy, and be able to always operate on the principles of inner guidance versus the outside logical guidance that you might be receiving from other people. The only guidance, the true guidance, can only come from your spirit, not someone else, right? It might work for them, but your own guidance only comes from you and only you, right? I have coaches, they tell me to do things, but I always check in with my guidance, with my spiritual team, which I have my spiritual team of angels, And only after I receive confirmation or I receive an answer that no, this is not the path and you need to follow a different path, I follow that. I trust my intuition more than I trust the logic out on the outside. And with that, my love, we're going to finish the conversation of Lovegodesss being spiritually tapped into who she is. And I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. It's Valentine's week, my love, and that means that we have something special for you. Kicking off on Valentine's Day, we have prepared a very special sale happening on a session fee for a boudoir session with Boiling Point Boudoir in Lovegodesss Studios in Virginia Beach. So I am so excited to make an announcement that the sale is now open, and it's going to be open for February 14th, which is Tuesday, February 15th, Wednesday, February 16th, Thursday, and February 17th, Friday, and it will close on Friday. So this is your chance to grab a session with a half off session fee I'm not gonna get out because if you are listening to that podcast, our session fee might go up. So I'm actually not gonna share what the session fee is at this time. However, you are welcome to go and use the link to learn all the details and get yourself your very own boudoir session